I got this in the old Amok mailbag from Tom Palmer. I believe Tom Palmer Jr., who worked for Wizard back in the day. Yeah, I think that's a fair bet. Hello, Tom. Hello, Matt Dow. So I was looking for something else online and stumbled across a website that prints short runs of newspapers. The same day I saw the post on the blog with that photo of one of the original Silverspoons from the Buyer's Guide, and it got me thinking. 100 copies of a 12-page broadsheet works out to around $4.50 a copy. So maybe you could charge $10 a pop and make it a neat add-on for the next Kickstarter. Or maybe not. I used the template on the website and slapped together a quick PDF using the pages from the digital Cerebus trade paperback with a simple first page that is designed to be folded in half like a newspaper. I also have a high resolution version if you want it. Tom. Matt says I would have Studio Comics print it out, but it's Silverspoon tabloid size. I think you get the idea. Okay, that's where's my note on that one? Oh, there we go. Okay, I guess one of my first questions would be, does the $4.50 a copy include shipping to Canada? And you could probably find that out at the same website just by saying, okay, I'm ready to go ahead and do this, and I'm in Canada. Sometimes that's a deal breaker. It's like, sorry, we don't deal with Canada, or yes, we do. We'll deal with Canada, but wait till you see the tariffs and the shipping costs that we're going to be tacking on here. I'd be surprised if we could sell 100 of them at $10 each. And if we only sold half of that, that makes it a break-even item, which is a bad use of scarce resources. That brought up another question. Are we talking old-time broadsheet, like back in the 1940s, what Prince Valiant and Flash Gordon and all of the color Sunday pages, that kind of broadsheet, or what we call broadsheet today? Both are much larger than tabloid. I'd have to have the exact dimensions and then see how that compares to the size of the original artwork. I can mock it up here. I can get an oversized sheet of paper and then just say, okay, this is what they're calling broadsheet. These are the exact dimensions of the broadsheet. And I would then take one of the Silverspoon originals and go, okay, how does this fit with this broadsheet, or broadsheet in quotation marks? I'd have to have the exact dimensions and then see how that compares to the size of the original art. You wouldn't want the page swimming in the middle of an acre of newsprint, and you also wouldn't want to enlarge the art too much to fill the broadsheet dimensions. Let me know, and I'll take a mental look. And then I sent the email to the team, and they responded. Birdsong says, it needs to be a better cover. Cue Dave. But I think I really would like to see a large Silverspoon Sunday supplement. $10 sounds good. Well, talking about a cover, and there we get into, well, okay, if I'm going to sit down and draw something, it has to be something that's going to generate revenue just by virtue of it being drawn. which might not be a Silverspoon cover. Again, uh, do we have 100 customers for these? It would be interesting to redraw one of the larger panels, since I think I could do a better Hal Foster today than I could back then. But then I'd want to redo the aardvark lettering in the logo banner, retouch some faces, etc. And before you know it, you're spending days on something you used to do after a 3-beer lunch in an afternoon. It's later than you think, Grandpa. Margaret said, I'd buy it for $10. Storing it would be a bear, but I've got uh, large enough archival portfolio. I'd pay more for them in color, like the Sunday comic strip pages in the newspaper. And Jen said, I'd buy for $20, but yeah, a color version sounds really intriguing. So for Margaret and Jen, um, that would certainly be popular, I think, or probably more popular than a black and white version. And the technology exists. You just sample old-time Ben-Day dots from newspaper strips or comics printed at World Color. For accuracy, you would need to sample Prince Valiant pages to get Hal Foster's palette. Hal Foster colored Prince Valiant or directed the coloring of Prince Valiant when he didn't do it, as Alex Raymond did with the Flash Gordon. The problem enters in with, quote, who has the chops to do that successfully, unquote. And, quote, who has the chops who would be willing to do that on 12 pages for a percentage of the $450 profit, unquote. Anyone? Anyone? Birdsong could do it, but I'd much rather have him working on his Cerebus in Jail with a question mark book, or whatever the first 16-page collection of Cerebus in Hell Instagram strips would be, if he's going to be working for 1980s babysitting wages. Maybe a compromise on this would be, instead of doing a Sunday Comics section, let's see what one page looks like. If David Birdsong is interested in selecting one of the Silverspoon strips, this looks like it would be fun to color. Then, at that point, he could sample Ben-Aid color dots from period comic books, 1940s, 1930s, 1950s, and say, well, okay, I'm not going to, spend days on this, but yeah, I can picture the palette that I would use for this strip, and I'll just, grab one of my color comics from the last century and sample the colors out of it and do a quick and dirty. This is roughly what it would look like. This is what a Silverspoon strip in color would look like, and then post it to Amok, and we could run it up the flagpole and see if anybody salutes. But I really think as soon as you're getting into multiple pages and when you're getting into color, then it's there's really not enough money on the table. There wouldn't have been enough money on the table in 1980, let alone in 2026, for somebody to actually do this. But yeah, I am interested in pursuing it at least as far as, okay, when we're talking broadsheet, how large a broadsheet are we talking about? What are the exact dimensions in inches? And then I will compare that head to head with one of the Silverspoon strips. So thank you, Tom. Thank you, Birdsong. Thank you, Margaret and Jen. And thank you always, Matt.